Today, there are two stories out there that both involve a boycott of a debate. One involving Donald Trump, one involving the Democratic primary contenders. And I think that we can learn a lot about the priorities of the two sides when you look at these two stories. The first with Trump is that President Trump is discussing with his advisors the possibility of sitting out the general election debates in 2020 because of his misgivings about the commission that oversees them, according to two people familiar with the discussions and not that familiar with Donald Trump, because that's definitely not the reason. But he says that he might just skip all of the debates because he doesn't think that the commission will be fair in choosing the right moderator. They're very clear. It's not about who he's going to be debating. He's not scared or anything. He's just worried about the commission.
No, to be fair to him, that's totally true. I mean, when you have bone spurs in both feet, what are you gonna do? You can't show up to a debate. You got to run.
Stand for that long?
Yeah,
seriously.
It's hard to run when you got the bone spurs, but still, you're gonna find a way to do it. Remember, this is a guy who didn't attend a debate because Megyn Kelly was going to be one of the moderators, and she had been mean to him. By the way, she had not. She just asked him very normal, straightforward questions. But he's like, that is slightly challenging from a Fox host. At the time, she was at Fox News. Oh my God! And then he started crying and stuff, and then ran away. Did a fake fundraiser for veterans. I mean, this guy is the biggest coward you have ever met in your life. So I'm reminded when like the little bird landed on Bernie's podium, and it was like a nice moment. And Trump had that eagle that he was trying to take a picture with in his office, and the eagle just spreads its wings, and Trump's like, "What's the on?" Right? Gets so scared. Of course he's running for his life. He doesn't want to answer any questions. He's a coward through and through.
It's smart though, because like he already has his base. He already has his network that is going to do propaganda for him regardless of what happens. So why would he go and debate anyone, really? And by the way, I think this is more so because he doesn't want to debate Bernie Sanders. I legitimately believe that the 100%. One candidate that will absolutely destroy him is Bernie Sanders, because as you guys have also correctly pointed out, he is an actual populist, a left-wing populist, and is powerful in all of the ways that Donald Trump lies to his audience about, like actually protecting Medicare and expanding it and caring for the American working class. He has a track record that Donald Trump can't attack, whether it be his NAFTA decision or the Iraq War. So he would be pretty powerful against someone like Joe Biden, for example, and I think he would probably jump at the opportunity to dunk on Joe Biden, considering Joe Biden is weak in all of those same areas that I mentioned that Bernie Sanders is strong in. But the real reason why he doesn't want to do this, I think, is because he doesn't have to.
Yeah, it's possible. And what were you gonna say?
Go ahead, John. I know.
Yeah, I think he's scared. I think that he knows that he did poorly in the 3 debates that they had back in 2016, even against Hillary Clinton. He did poorly. He says he won, but he knows that he didn't win. And he's scared of that happening again. And that's fine. You can be scared. I just think it's weird that we live in a country where, for conservatives, when presented with weakness, they invariably see it as strength. They think that it's a strong move to cowardly run away from the debates. I've never understood that. So look, that's the Trump story, is that he might not do the debates at all, or it might be a bargaining tactic, whatever. But the Democrats are also considering boycotting a debate, not the general election ones.
Oh, sorry, can I jump back in on the Trump one?
Sure.
Sorry to go out of order, guys. So I want to address 2 things that John and Hasan said, actually 3. One is, John's absolutely right about the facts. Clinton won all the debates according to the polling, so it's not really in dispute, and her numbers went up after every debate. So all this talk of like, oh, Trump will, he attacks people in debates and you have to be really careful with him. No, the bungling fool lost every debate there was, at least when in the general election. And the Republicans are so pathetic. He won many of the primary debates against other Republicans, but mainly based on how corrupt they are. Now, to Hasan's point, Donald Trump asked his advisors, hey, can we cancel student debt too? Because now that's considered the most far left idea. It's not just about college for all. It's not about free college at the public universities. This is canceling all student debt. And apparently he brought in Betsy DeVos, and Betsy DeVos was like, no way we're canceling student debt. Her family has money in that industry. And so of course she said no. But look at how telling that is. Apparently he was saying like, hey, we got to compete with these guys that are doing these populist things like Bernie talking about canceling student debt. So it's not actually in dispute. He is afraid of true populists. That's a fact reported on by some of the top newspapers in the country. But it's amazing that they report that, and then all their political analysts drop it right afterwards. None of them ever mention that the candidate he is clearly told his advisors he's worried about is the populist candidate Bernie Sanders. And lastly, on not debating at all or not showing up to things, he's also not showing up to his own trial in the Senate. He didn't show up to the impeachment hearings, even though he's been invited over and over again. He famously once said, if you take the Fifth Amendment, that means you're guilty. So if you don't show up to your own trial in impeachment, not by my logic, but by Trump's so-called logic, he's definitely guilty. And if you don't show up to the debates, that also means you have no ideas to offer. You are clearly the worst candidate. So that's not in dispute. And Trump followers, I'm quoting Trump, so you have to believe it.
Listen, the one thing I'll say about Donald Trump, and this might trigger liberals, but he is definitely a good demagogue. He knows how to read the room well, and he knows what the expectations of his constituency is, unlike a lot of establishment Democrats who don't care about that at all or act like they know what their constituents want when in fact they have no idea. So whether it be racism or whether it be like left-wing populism, actual left-wing populism to pad that racism around, he understands that American people do want these things, and they're popular.
And for more on that, read my most recent editorial on The Hill, Why Trump is Wise to Fear a Socialist Opponent. We go into the ways that he's tried to pretend that he is a populist of this sort in the past. But we also have the Democrats that are considering not taking part in next week's debate. All 7 of the Democratic candidates who qualified for next week's presidential debate are vowing to boycott the event to stand in solidarity with a union that plans to protest outside the debate's venue. The Union of Food Service Workers, Unite Here Local 11, is fighting for better wages and benefits and informed candidates on Friday that there could be picketing on December 19th at Loyola Marymount University. And so the candidates not wanting to effectively like cross the line are saying that unless it's resolved before the debate, they're not going to take part.
Yeah, look, credit to them for sticking with their values.
And all of them doing it, which I did not expect.
Yeah, well look, unions are a thing that is a rare thing that unites both progressives and centrist Democrats. Progressives care about them because the labor movement is so important, and you've got to have leverage when you're negotiating with giant multinational corporations. It's the only way you're going to get higher wages. Centrists care about them because they give money to politicians. So they're like, oh, money, good. Like my corporate donors, I get this, I understand this. Unions, what do you need? So that's why both Biden, Sanders, well, all of them, Biden, Sanders, Warren, and again, Yang is a total wild card, but he was one of the first to come out and say, yes, we should not cross a picket line. That's why they all agree.
Yeah.
I didn't see Buttigieg. Has he weighed in yet? I don't know if he had it.
It says all 7.
Oh, and now it's all 7 because in the beginning Buttigieg was not on that list. But he must have checked with his Wall Street donors, and they said, yeah, you got to pretend like the rest of them. Come on, keep going.
No, this is good. More power to him for using this and dropping it on Sodexo, like an ongoing labor dispute, using this as an opportunity to have their demands met. Very cool. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.